How's it going, humans? In this episode of HewTube, we are facing some stairs. Get it? Facing stairs. So look at these things. These are the stairs that we're starting with. These are just horrible and atrocious. So the plan for this project is to really just reface the stairs. So I'm going to use some 1/8 inch oak veneer plywood, and I'm going to start by cutting that down to a more manageable size and then ripping it down on the table saw. With all of our stair treads cut down, I took some masking tape and I popped that on one side of each board, and you'll see why in a second. So I don't know about you, but my house is not completely square, including the stairs. So there's a slight taper on the left side of my staircase, and that's just the way it is. So I took some cereal boxes and made a little template that I could take apart and put back together 13 times to get a nice fit for my stair tread. So with that in place, I just scribed the line, cut out my cereal box, taped the thing back together, then I could lay it out on my tread and mark my line. So after doing this 13 times in a row, it was time to move over to the bandsaw and cut these all to size. So after a couple of test fits and a little trimming, I was able to get everything all in place. Just the immediate transformation that this is for me is huge. Like, can you imagine living with this horrible staircase for years? It's just gross. Look at that. It already looks a million times better, and we're not even close to being done yet. Next came the almost satisfying job of pulling off all the tape. I gave everything a quick little sand on the edges, and then it was time to take care of the atrocity that was my workbench and finally put everything away and clean up. So with that done, I wanted to figure out what color stain I was going to use. So I had 3 options on hand. I had a espresso, Jacko bean, and just a natural finish. So I took one of my offcuts and just popped some stain on to see which one I liked the best. Yep, that one. Espresso. So with espresso being our winner, and a really quick winner, like that was a 3-second decision. As you saw, it was now time to put the stain on our boards. So we left this overnight. Stain's now dry. It's dry. It's fine. So we're going to use General Finish water-based urethane in a satin, and it says that it is perfect for floors. And being that these are stair treads, it'll be perfect. So this is one of my favorite finishes to use. I've used it for years. It can be a little tricky to figure out the application though. So you want to put it on thick and quick to start, and once you get it on, then you just want to back roll it one time, just like this. Now this will help it self-level, and it's one of these finishes where you just need to walk away. You need to put it on, walk away, and don't touch it. So this is what I'm talking about. This is what it's gonna look like as it's drying. It's gonna look like garbage. You're gonna wanna touch it. You're gonna wanna roll it again. You're gonna wanna put more finish on. Don't do it. Really, don't do it. Just walk away. Walk away, come back in 2 hours. Trust me. Don't touch it. So now with the first coat dry, you can see it's all leveled itself out, but it needs to be sanded with 300 and apply coat number 2. Then you're going to rinse and repeat for coat number 3, just using a finer grit sandpaper, using a 400 here. And then when we get on to coat number 4, I change over to a 600 grit. And once that last coat is applied, I didn't even need to sand it again. It was perfectly smooth and ready to be installed. So I've been trying to figure out how to put the stair tread onto the stair. And because I'm only using 1/4" material, I don't really want to staple or nail through it. So I tried a few things. I tried glue, it didn't stick. I tried contact cement, it didn't stick. I bought PL Premium, but that takes 24, 48 hours to cure and that's too long. So what I figured out, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut down secondary tread underlay. I'm gonna fit that in. I'm going to staple that down so it is just nice and solid and in place. And then I'm going to use wood glue and I'm going to glue my actual tread on top. So at the end of the day, it ends up being a semi-permanent, which is kind of what I want. So we're gonna give this a whirl, and we're gonna see what happens. So it's been about an hour-ish. We're gonna see if this worked. So, not to disappoint anyone here, but it didn't work. It didn't work very well. It worked okay. So the theory was there, but I just needed to refine it a little bit. What ended up happening was the middle of the boards and the front lip ended up being held down pretty good, but the back edge and the sides were not, which really shouldn't surprise anyone because they had no pressure on them holding it onto the stair tread. So it was time to figure out a new plan to get some more pressure on the back. And what I came up with was cutting some wedges to create that pressure. So as I was cutting down all of my wedges, I had like an epiphany. And if I use a nice solid board and I give it pressure at the back and pressure at the front, it should give me even pressure across the entire thing. So I don't need to use the big bags of dust. Let's see how it goes. With the solution now in place, it was time to get at it. So nothing simple, nothing difficult. Glue, clamps, wedges, and waiting. That's all it was. And after a few hours, it turned out pretty amazing. 9 to go. 9. So with the glue drying for the stair treads, it was time to start working on the risers. I decided to use the same 1/4" ply for this and get them all cut and test fit into place. So I have all of our risers cut. They're all kind of tested and shape. I'm going to paint them. That's what's happening. So you can like it or not, or you can let me know. And you know, chew me out for painting plywood, because it does kind of pain me a little bit. Not because it's plywood, but because it looks like pretty oak. But it is plywood, so I think that I'm okay doing it. Now it was time to sand the front of our stair treads so that we could add some stain to them. Then we could put our risers in place. Now for these, I'm just stapling them in. Nothing special, no adhesive. Put them in, staple it down, and it's done. Lastly, I put a couple of coats of finish on the front of our stair treads. And then I finished up with a coat of paint to take care of all of the places that I accidentally hit the side of the stairs with stain, because I'm messy. The last thing to do was put in our banister. And quick tip of the day, if you're trying to find your studs, just use some rare earth magnets. You can see I found all my stud locations on that wall and had a perfect spot to hook our banister. banister. So I do need to get another bracket, at least one more. The store was out of these black ones when I went and bought them, so I need to go to another store. If I get another one of those, I'll put it in the middle, and I think that's it. Stairs. Well, there you have it. A facelift on an ugly set of stairs. Pretty simple, pretty easy, something you can probably do yourself. Thanks for sticking around, checking out this video. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.